a little bit about you, but like really let the people know more about who is Adelia and what you're about.
Absolutely, absolutely. So first of all, I want to tell you thank you, Camille, for allowing me to be on your amazing show, award winning, might I add. Just stay tuned for that. But my name is Adelia Johnson, and I am the owner of I Am a Morning Coffee. I am a youth mental health first aid instructor. I am a mental health advocate. I am a social worker. I am a mother. I am a sister. I am a lover of people, and I am the host of the Sister Hype Squad experience that takes place in October, but we'll talk more about that. I'm an
Yes.
author and
Yes.
I'm an event host. That's what I love to do.
I love it. I love it. So, since you've been here, let's kind of catch up a little bit. So, what's been going on in Adelia's world?
Whew. It's been a lot happening in Adelia's world. Let me just give y'all the highlights, right? Let me give you the real. So so the REEL. Okay. So what's been happening is let's see. Let's go back to March. So in March, I actually was promoted on my job, and I went from being a social worker to being the coordinator of social work services. And so that was a pretty big promotion, very exciting promotion. New land to navigate. So really excited about that. Learning new things on a district level, and so that has been very different. I have started rolling the ball for the Sister Hype Squad experience. So I've been
Yeah.
working on that. Also working on the Sister Hype Squad anthology. So I have been being, I think I said that right, coached through how to make that experience better. And so
Okay.
I'm so excited to roll out with like the changes pertaining to that. Like it's really, really exciting. Recently my uncle passed away. Now I'm saying this not for everybody to be sad, but I'm
Yeah.
saying that to say that you see the smile on my face. This ain't nothing but the glory of God,
Yeah,
and
we were just laughing like something
we
go
weren't,
cutting
we
up.
weren't, we weren't cutting up. But I'm so blessed to have a community of people that have loved on me. That's why community is so important.
Mhm.
So let's see. I think that's about it that we have going on. It's a lot happening, but those are the highlights. Those are the highlights of what's happening.
I love it. And so in that, we talk about managing connections during transitions, and you're going through a lot of transitions. So
Yes.
as we really get into this conversation, Adelia, can you kind of touch on the importance of managing connections throughout transitions in life?
Oh, yeah. So I will say that transition sometimes will cause you to either forge connections or transition will cause you to have to sever connections.
Mhm.
I think it's really important to be very conscious and tapped in into which is which, right? And so with transition, you want everybody to be happy for you, right? You want everybody to be proud of you. You want everybody to, celebrate the
Right.
transitions, honestly, you want people to celebrate you when you're going through good transitions, but you also want people to be there for you and support you in bad transitions because there are rough transitions as well. Everything isn't all good, right? When
Yeah.
we're talking about transition. So I will say as far as connections is concerned, transition really and I heard Bishop Jake say this, when you're turning a corner, you find out who's riding for you and who's gonna fall off.
Right.
And so usually in that turn, hey Jalen, happy to
Hey,
see you.
Jay.
In that turn, people tend to either fall off or they hold on tighter. And
Mhm.
so I'm thankful because in this particular season, as far as transitions are concerned, I'm really finding that there are people that are holding on tighter that I honestly thought would have probably let go. And that's possible. And I say that because there have been times I wanted to let go of myself, if I can
Mm.
just be real.
Let's
Because
unpack that for a minute.
yeah,
What did that look
let's
like?
what that looks like is when you are going through so much stress, you going through so many transitions, and if you're anything like me, and then you have to of course base that based off of who you are, what's your character, right?
Mhm.
I like things in order. I love surprises, but like I don't like I'm a not a control freak, but
Mhm.
I like to know what's next. There we go. I like to know
You're
what's next.
strategic, like you're a planner.
I am, and when
Okay.
I can deal with a few changes at a time, but when there are so many changes all at one time, I either it's like a response. I either freeze, or I want to shut down. I don't want to be around people. And I need time to really process all of these transitions and changes.
Mhm.
And so that's what that looks like for me. For me, it's like I have to talk myself into not shutting down. I have to talk myself into not isolating, so that people won't ask a lot of questions. And but because in this season of my life, depending on the day, if you ask me, am I okay? I just may fall apart.
So what's the difference between shutting down and setting boundaries? Because sometimes
Oh,
people those
that's
lines can
good.
be blurred and they're like, "Oh, well, I'm doing self-care," but you're really in a shutdown mode versus in other times it's a legit boundary. So what is the difference?
I think the difference is, as far as shutting down is concerned, I think what that looks like is you not being in communication with the people around you.
Mm,
You're not answering the phone. You're not responsive. You're not you're not in communication with your community. There we go. And that's dangerous.
mm,
Now, as far as boundaries are concerned, I think it takes it takes maturity, and it takes being kind to yourself to set boundaries and say to whatever teams you serving on, whoever you're working with, hey, I need to step back for a second, or I need this block of time where I'm not disturbed. And so give me a week. I can't serve during this week. I can't respond to any emails this week. But this is, you need to tell people what that looks like. And so if you're able to provide what that looks like, then you have to be very careful with those two, because like you said, setting boundaries is one thing and
mhm,
self-care is one
mhm.
thing. Shutting down and isolating because of the weight of what you're dealing with is another.
Wow. So in that, like, isn't there a time where I won't say I won't call it a growth spurt, but you just reaching another evolution of yourself. So
Mhm.
what is the difference between separating, putting distance between yourself and other people and
Mhm.
just flat out growing? And also thinking that growth doesn't necessarily mean goodbye, right?
Mhm. Absolutely.
So what
Absolutely.
and I won't say it's goodbye, it's just not at this time, or
Mhm.
maybe life just has us has the both of us in different spaces right now,
Yeah.
and then we come back together later.
Right. And that's if you come back together later, right? And learning how to be okay with that.
Mhm.
Because when you have two people that are growing, it's just like, I don't want to really, well, I would say wheat and tear would be a good example,
Mhm.
because you grow together, but then when you get to the threshing floor, like when you get to the hard parts,
Right,
that's how you're able to tell the difference between the wheat and the tear.
right.
And so I think it's really important to respect people's spaces, respect where they're, the mind frame that they're in,
Mhm.
and most importantly, don't take it personal. Especially if you have like a genuine relationship. Like I'll use Angela for example.
Right.
Angela
"Hey, auntie."
Angela may send me like a text message or whatever, and she knows that that I will respond. It may not be right away, it may not be immediately. However, what I reference is capacity. I don't have the capacity, maybe in that moment or in that space, to respond genuinely. And so, because I can't respond to you genuinely, I just really need you to respect the space that I'm in until I'm able to give you an honest reply.
Yeah, isn't that respecting the picture? Because if you're the one
Mm.
pouring, you need to respect the place that the pour comes from,
Oh,
and
that's
you don't
good.
wanna abuse the fountain or the pitcher.
Absolutely.
Um, and just for example, like, there's someone I know now, and they've been trying to reach out to me the last couple days, but I know it's because they want a pour from me. But
Mm,
with everything that's happened in this last week, not anything's bad. Right now, I just need a place to recharge for myself. At
yeah.
some point, I will reach back out to them,
Hmm.
but mentally, I'm thinking about some things, decisions I need to make
Yeah.
within my even though I may be putting out content or whatever, just because you see me putting out content doesn't mean I'm in a space to talk.
That, can you say that again?
Just
Just
because
because,
you see me putting out content does not mean I'm in a space to talk.
that is so good. That is so good, because don't we make these assumptions that just because your social media may be popping, or you may be doing this, or you may be doing that, that you don't think for a second that all of this is draining? like the pushing of your brand, the pushing of the and bump brand, the
Just
pushing the
life, just
purpose.
spiritually yourself, just everything, like, honestly, like the Bible class from Tuesday, I've really been thinking about the truth on the
Yeah.
Tuesday, and so right now, even though I've been doing my usual postings or whatever, just out of a lot of conversation, maybe 1 or 2 people, outside of that, I just have not had the capacity, and right now, I'm just like,
Mhm.
not
Yeah.
to I can't right now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Not that
And,
it's anything wrong, but sometimes you have to kind of pour back into yourself, you know?
mhm. And you got to give yourself grace.
Yeah,
And I think that's what I'm learning is because I really have a lot of stressors right now. I have a lot of people that I love that are just not in the place that I would like for them to be,
right,
physically, emotionally, you know. And so when you love people and you carry that weight, um you have to find a way to be kind to yourself and not try to solve everybody's problems.
mhm.
And so you really have to show yourself grace, like in those moments, like I don't have it in me right now, because and plus I'm not anyone's savior.
That and you need to recognize that you don't have it because a lot of
Mhm,
times I've been guilty of it. We want to show up for everyone, we want to be present for everyone,
mhm.
and we're working or operating out of a space of depletion, a depleted state. But
Yes.
then when we need it in return and we don't get it, now we are resentful, not only
Mhm.
towards the other people, but towards ourselves because you it's like a car, that light was on. I know my car. Your car told you, "Bro, we need some more petrol to go through Metro,"
Right.
and you in the street on fumes, and then you mad because you on the side of the road with your canteen
And
looking stupid.
now you
Yeah,
mad.
yeah, now you're mad. The light just red,
Absolutely. And we're ignoring all of the warning signs that
Yeah,
says we're about to break down.
dashboard looking like December 24th. It's like, lights are on. You need to fill up.
Warning sign, warning
Warning.
sign.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So it's like you're mad at them, but really you're mad at yourself because you extended yourself beyond your capacity.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I like that. You extended yourself beyond your capacity. That's so
right.
good. That's
Ain't
so
it though?
good.
Look at the Lord. He just moving in this conversation.
I love it. That's what he does. Especially this
Right.
podcast is blessed. That's all I'm saying.
Speak on it. Speak on it. See, this is what we do. So offline it's even worse, okay? Y'all have no idea. It's terrible. Speaking of which, new faces, new chapters. Like, I don't know about you, but I've been in this new transition phase, going
Mhm.
into a new chapter. Like, I'm on the brink of a new chapter. I guess I am in a new chapter of life in a way. I'm
Yeah.
not fully in it. It's like a trailer. It's like the trailer, right? I'm getting
Oh, yeah. There's a preview. It's a
preview,
preview.
the trailer coming soon to a theater near you. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just like you're starting to see new faces. So how do we do this, as far as our next talking point, transitioning into new chapters, new faces,
Mhm.
without the remnants or the residue of previous episodes?
That is a very good question. I think part of that is walking into the new space healed,
Mm,
walking into that new space really coming to terms with whatever the previous space was. Like I give you a prime example because I'm with you. Like I'm walking into these new spaces. I'm walking to a new space without my uncle, right? I'm walking
mhm,
into this new space with my son going to another grade, or I'm walking into a new space with this book anthology and some other things that God put on my heart to do.
yeah,
All of it is new, and I have to rectify and renew my mind and remember that this is a new level, meaning you have to be open, Adelia, to receive a different pour. Mm, yeah, that's good. You have to be open to receive a different pour, probably from different people and from voices that you typically wouldn't have either considered,
mhm,
or people that you may have been I don't want to say lyrics. I'm a very cautious person.
okay,
And part of that has been because of relationships and trauma and people doing you
right,
wrong. However, just really tapping into more discernment into, okay,
You
who's
gotta look at
supposed
the eyes.
you,
If you
that
know, you
was
know.
so good on
You gotta look at
Tuesday.
the
You gotta
eyes.
look at the eyes. You
I'm
feel the
gonna be a
eyes
whole
tell a lot.
optometrist. I'm like, read the bottom line for me.
The eyes will tell you everything.
Everything.
And actually, it's interesting that he said that, because no, it's true. Because people that divert, let me jump into psychology for a second. People that divert eye contact, sometimes eye contact is not made due to trauma, or it could be,
They're
for
shy. What if
various
you're like
reasons.
introvert? Yeah.
But for some people, they don't look you in the eye because they know that they talked about you right before they came and met with you. Or they don't
Mm,
look you in the eye because there's some guilt associated with some things that they know about you, or some things that some preconceived ideas about you, that it's almost like, I hope she doesn't see me. I
mm.
hope she doesn't see how
Avoidance.
trifling I am.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I hope I can cover that up good.
yeah.
And sometimes that's what it is. People don't want to look you in the eye because you'll see them.
Yeah, that's
And some people don't want
good.
to be seen.
Yeah, I know for me, it's just, over time, confidence, introvert, all that,
Hmm.
gotten so much better with it now. But I know in times past, that was a lot of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just like shy, introverted stuff. So yeah.
Right.
But no, that's actually really good. But yeah, I just really feel like, going into this new chapter is definitely um leaving the bodies where they are, not taking them with you.
That's
You
good.
can't, we want to go to the next level, but you can't bring these bodies on the plane.
No,
you know.
no. Bury
So
them. Leave them
yeah.
where they are.
Yes, have
Eh,
repast, eat your chicken, and
th-
move forward.
That's right. And move forward. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're having this conversation, because just the other day I had a very weird experience. It was like yesterday, and there was this whole debate on whether or not these were lamb, deer, or goat outside of my house early in the morning.
Oh, yeah,
And
you had like a little Noah's Ark situation going on. I was
it was
like,
it was crazy. Somebody was like, "Are you a Disney princess?" I was like, "I have that effect." So, but as I was praying, God just reminded me that you're stepping into so much newness
mm,
that nothing looks familiar. And you can't even expect for me to move the same way, because there's so much new. And so you got to learn how to navigate the new space. And I decided, you know what? Yeah, I am ready for something new.
mhm.
And when we accept that we are ready for something new, we're ready for our life to be different. We're ready just for something different. You ever just wanted to experience something different
Yeah, for
other than
sure.
the same old, same old?
Definitely.
And Angela
But
said
you have
that's
to be in the
pictures of
space
my
to welcome the new, and you can't come into the space tight, have
Ooh,
an open
that's so
mind,
good.
be welcoming to the new experience and the people,
Yeah,
and be receptive,
yeah,
definitely be receptive. So,
absolutely.
that's very important. Hey, Megan, thank you for joining us. Um, so I guess my next question is with that is, you have I am my morning coffee, Hype Squad brunch is coming up really soon. And in that space is a community where you're really cultivating a community of connection,
Hmm.
support. And so particularly as women, supporting each other, not being in a space of competition, being a
Hmm.
good friend,
Hmm.
admitting in times past where you were not the good friend, and
Hmm.
what they say, best behavior is change behavior. So, can you kind of speak on more into what is coming up with the Hype Squad Brunch War this 2024, and touch more into the anthology and what that really is about?
Yes, absolutely. So I'll start with the Hype Squad anthology. So what that is about sharing some very real and intimate and raw stories of encounters with other women that may
Mm,
not have been so positive. But the goal and the intent is not just to share, oh, this was a negative experience. The goal and the intent is to show that even though you may have had, yes, we do, Jalen. Even though we may have had a negative experience, that doesn't mean that's you have to stay there. Like,
mm,
you can be very intentional and very strategic in creating a different experience than what you had. And so the goal of the work is to show how women support each other, show how women can not only just be there when things are all good, because everybody can be there when things are good. I want to talk about being there and supporting one another when things are rough, when things are, when
And be
things are,
consistent, like,
yeah,
right?
be
Like, don't get a man
consistent.
and disappear for a year and then show up after y'all break up, "Hey, girl, no, you're the out of court. What are you doing? You gotta start over. What are you
Exactly.
doing?"
And life is going to have its ebbs and flows, and we get that. However, be consistent in your character,
Right.
in who you are. If you're going to be there, then be there. If you're not, then then don't be. Or if you don't have the capacity, then say that, because I respect that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, but let's have a relationship that's very genuine, and that we can be honest, and you don't drag me for being honest, because the moment you drag me for being honest, you kind of make me think you're not a safe person anymore.
But then
Because
also you have to know your person too, right? Because you should
yes,
know me by now to say, "Okay, I know Camille did not come from a malicious place when she said that, and she said that because she cares." But if you see me going down the wrong way on a one-way street and you don't say anything, then I'm
right.
questioning like, "Girl, you saw me coming up this one way and you didn't say anything, you let me crash."
Oh,
So
that's so good.
so know your person. Know that I'm
Absolutely.
coming from a genuine and a place of care, like, "Hey, girl, I love you, but you're so messing up right now." Like, real bad.
Absolutely.
No
Absolutely.
bueno, it's not good.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and we got to give people permission to be honest with us, right?
Yes,
Because we can't always jump on the defense when somebody try to tell us about ourselves. Like, oh, dear, you was real raggedy on Sunday, or you was, you didn't do this, blah blah blah. Like that wasn't your best standard, whatever the case may be.
right.
Don't jump on the person that loves you and trying to steer you right. Like that's insane to me. Like you have to give people the permission to be honest with you and tell you, what's going on.
But I think that comes with trust and building the
It
friendship and building
it
trust
does.
because if I don't trust you, I don't trust your judgment, I don't trust your character, then if you come at me like that, it's, "Oh, she's just a little hater," you know?
Right, right,
But so
right.
I think it's just, again, trusting the friendship or budding friendship to say, "Okay, I know this person means well by me," and then it's coming out of a place of love and best interest, not to tear
Absolutely.
down, so
Absolutely. I
that's
love that.
really good, yes.
Yeah.
So, the anthology, what is this anthology? What is it about? What are we doing here? Like, please fill us in, what's going on?
Okay. Y'all come here. Come here. Come here. Okay. So the Sister Hype Squad anthology. So this is a work of compiled stories from different women with different experiences as far as sisterhood is concerned.
Okay,
So we're getting not just, maybe your mean girl story, or the negative experience or encounter that you had with a sister, but we're
okay,
also getting, okay, how did this interaction change to a positive interaction?
mhm.
And it may not be with that person that you had the negative interaction with, but how did your relationship with sisterhood shift at some point? What did you do to make it different? What did you change about yourself to make it different? Or what did you do differently? What approach did you take to make sure that you were engaging in positive female relationships? And so this is an anthology, a book of compiled stories that really motivate and push sisterhood. That even though it may even start off rocky, even though it may start off bad, even though it may start off negative, there definitely can be a positive ending to the story depending on how you respond.
Good, good, good. So, when is the brunch? Where can we get the tickets? I already have mine. I pre-ordered.
You do, you
I
do.
did. I'm just waiting for my side by side so I
Yeah.
can
Wait, I thought I sent that to you.
no.
Okay, don't worry, I fixed it. Don't worry, I
Yes.
got it. I got it. Matter of fact, let me make sure I got it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put the
Yes,
the
yes.
link in the chat. So the So we rebranded it as the Sister Hype Squad Experience.
Okay.
And I'm glad that I dropped the brunch only because I don't want the connotation, sometimes the negative connotation that goes with that whole concept of brunch. And I think me and you talked about that before, that whole mean girl thing. Like that's not what this is. Like this is an event where we can come together, celebrate one another, and not just celebrate one another, but help each other and coach each other through our losses. And so it's not just a space of, oh, everybody's doing well. I don't want you to feel like you got to be in that space if you're doing great. I want you in that space if you also need to like get your roar back. And there have been some
Oh,
things that I have recently
I like
experienced,
that. Yeah.
yeah, that has been trying to snatch my voice, like seriously, like some serious pain, serious grief, and trying to suffocate me.
Mhm.
And that's because I understand what the assignment is in October. And the
Wow.
assignment in October is, golly, this is so good. I love God so much. The assignment in October is we are releasing women that have experienced or is dealing with spiritual laryngitis. The
Mm.
enemy has come after your voice. He has come after your throat. He has made you think that your voice is annoying. He has made you think that you can't breathe. He has given you these lies about your lies about your the amplifying of your voice. And I'm coming for that because I have
Yeah.
experienced things that have literally tried to silence me.
And see,
And
mine's the opposite. I'm actually beginning learning more about my voice and
mm,
stepping more into it because
wow.
the first chunk of my life was the opposite.
Yeah.
And so now that I am finding my voice, finding my strength, and my tone has changed, it's actually ruffled some feathers because it's like, Camille said no?
Wha-
She's never said no.
She's never
What?
said no.
Yeah, so it's
Oh gosh.
definitely, the opposite. It's just I think me sometimes I hear it and I'm like, "Ooh, did I say that?"
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, "No, say it and don't flinch." So I'm
Right.
like,
Say it. Say it with
"Mm,
your chest.
no, and wait for it."
And
No.
wait for it. And the thing
Yeah,
is that no is a complete sentence.
complete sentence with a
There's
period.
nothing more after that, actually. You can
Yes,
say no and smile. The answer is no.
yes, and so in this last, I would say, year, been more visual, actually showing up more for, like, for the podcast, because in
Hmm.
the beginning, it was just streaming only,
Yeah,
and I shrunk from the camera, did not wanna be in the front of the camera, but now it's like, "Oh, I can do this, and
that's
I
right.
have something to say, and
That's
my
right.
words matter too," and owning it, and it feels good, it's very empowering, you
Yeah,
know, so it's really good. So I definitely feel like this year's experience is gonna be amazing. I cannot wait to go. I was on virtually last year, but I'm excited, this year getting my ticket, being in the room. So I'm
I'm
looking forward
excited.
to that. And we're also gonna do a follow-up, a podcast episode as we get closer, with this, and some other things happening. Maybe some switching around. You just never know.
You never
So
know.
you
You
never
never know.
know. You just never
Stay
know.
tuned.
Stay tuned, right? Really good. So, with that going on, you've told us, as far as, the experience from, say, brunch, the experience and your anthology. So, as we begin to, like, really wrap up this conversation for now, because Imma bring you back for, I guess it'll be part 3 of our
Part three, and I'm
conversation.
excited about it.
For sure. I really, really, yes, Angela, Auntie Angela, it's definitely getting bigger and better each year.
That's all right.
Um, do you have, like, any nuggets or gems or takeaways that you can leave with the viewers and listeners until you come back? And then also, where can people contact you on social media?
Absolutely. If I can give you any takeaway, I would just say don't let the hard seasons or the hard stuff make you compromise the vision that God has for your life. If God has given you something, don't let anybody talk you out of it. Um, Stick to the vision. Like I mentioned yesterday, I saw sheep outside of my house. For others, they saw deer. For others, they saw goat. I say that to say that whatever it is that God placed in your vision or in your line of sight, you stick to that. You don't
Mm,
compromise. Other people can come and they can try to tell you what it is. They can try to tell you what they think it is. They can try to tell you what they think it should be. And just be very careful not to morph your vision that God gave you into anybody else's vision. You be obedient to what it is that God showed you, and you be obedient and you ride that thing all the way out, because if God showed it to you, He will provide provision for it. He will provide support for it. He will provide anointing for it. Oh, yes, He will provide everything that is needed for that particular vision. And when you start listening to other people, I promise you, those people that you're listening to, they will not be there to support it. They probably won't even show up. And so you need to be very careful on who you're allowing to speak over the vision that God has given you. That's
that's
my
really
takeaway.
good to incubate the vision,
Absolutely. You got to protect that thing.
protective vision. That's really good. And even in that whole support situation, there'll be people that, like you said, they won't get it, they won't understand it, and just do it and let them catch up later.
Let them catch up later. And that's if they even catch up. They may not be interested in catching up, because let me tell y'all something. People will come alongside of your vision to make it theirs.
Mm, yeah. But you
Yeah.
have to realize too, there's so many people in this world. The people that you think are your audience, that's not your audience.
Mm-mm,
Your
mm-mm.
audience is out there. Your real
Yes,
audience is out there.
absolutely.
Um, there was a time, I wanna say about 2 years ago, a couple seasons ago in the podcast, and I did an episode with a mental health professional,
Hmm.
and that particular live did not get a lot of views or viewers or whatever, and so I was like, "Oh, I was very discouraged, and I was going to take down, delete the video, everything, and I left it up, and the next day, the guest reached back out to me, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad we did that episode, it was so good."
Wow.
And I was like, "Really?" Because I was, like, telling her how she was like, "No, it was so good," and she was like, "It was really God ordained." She was like, um, someone had reached out to her, and they had intended on taking their life that night, and
What?
they had happened to see our live, our the podcast, and because we were talking about having, mental health emergency care plan, things like that, they opted to get help. And so that's when
Jeez.
God was showing me, like, it's not about the views, it's not about the followers and subscribers, it's about being obedient because
Yeah.
someone's life is depending on your obedience. And what if I had been disobedient and that person didn't see the episode and they had decided to end their life? You know, so it's like
Absolutely.
follow what the Lord has said and do what he instructs you to do because literally someone's life is hanging in the balance on you walking out what you're supposed to do in your purpose. And you might seem like it's so small and so insignificant, but it could literally be life saving for someone else.
Yeah.
So
Life or death. Wow.
yeah,
Thank you, Camille, for like everything that you do. Like obedience matters. It really does matter. And you can't trust the thumb or the view of, these numbers on social media, because these numbers can be very deceptive.
people
And
buy followers, they buy
they
likes.
they do. And let me tell you something, the enemy will make you think and plant in your head, like you said, nobody's listening. But this has always been my prayer. God, please give me confirmation that I'm walking the way you want me to walk.
Mm.
And I want you to pray that prayer over this podcast. Like whatever guest you bring on, whatever topic you have, may God affirm you and confirm that it is everything that somebody needs. I don't care if it's one, because God will move. I've been a witness of it. He's done it for me. He will move heaven and earth for one. And so the work that you're doing is so very, very important. And don't you let numbers tell you different. Don't you, like you said, it was that one person reached out, but the truth of the matter is you don't know how many other people were impacted by the episode. Matter of fact, you don't know how many people are encouraged every time you drive down here to attend your church services. Go back with all of your resources, still do this podcast, still live your life, still do whatever it is that you're doing. You don't know who you're inspiring or who you're pushing. So you got to keep going, Camille. Like this is important. And what I know about God, he'll drop things in the middle of nowhere. You'll get a call from somebody like, "Hey, we've been watching your podcast for the last 2 years, and we wanted to know if you were willing to do this on a local network." You just don't know how God will move, so you gotta stay the course.
Keep my lashes on, keep my lashes on, keep my
Yes,
lashes
ma'am.
on. Thank you.
You're doing an amazing job, and I'm so very, very, very proud of you.
Oh, Lord, how we get here? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, everyone, this has been a great episode.
I think so. It's been great.
Yeah.
See, LaRonda agrees. Amazing job. That's right.
Okay.
Reach out, girl on. Put her some positive affirmations in the comment section. Remind her and let her know that the Speak
Yeah.
Her podcast is everything that the world needs right now. And we're gonna shut the enemy's mouth because whatever it is that he's trying to speak over your podcast is not true. They're lies. And we know that God has called this blessed, and we know that God has called this to be anointed, and we know that God has called this to bless other people. It blesses me.
Wow. See, I
I know.
wasn't even expecting all this. We're
I
talking
know,
about
right?
you.
It's God like
You
that.
you are the guest.
That's
You
who
are
I
the
am,
guest.
though. I am an encourager. I
You are.
realize
I
it's one
will
of my
say that about
superpowers,
you.
baby. Hey, see, Donnell said that he's glad that he tuned in today. Look at that.
Hi,
Look at
Donnell.
that. Thank you, Donnell.
Oh, my cheeks hurt. I'm smiling so hard. Jeez. I was not intending. I did not expect that today, but thank you so much. I really
Anytime,
appreciate it.
anytime. Just keeping it real.
Okay, yes, we're innovators and creators connect.
She
Period.
is, Olivia. She really is. She
Thank
really
you.
is.
I
Because
have read.
your connections birth visions. I will throw something at this wall.
Come on, Adelia, drop a bar.
Your connections, they do. They birth visions.
Like, I just like connecting good people with good people. And
Yeah.
when I meet people and I see them operating in what they do that I feel is amazing, I'm like, "Oh, wait, I know somebody that will be great for you as far as what you do." And I'm very good at saying, "Hey, go to your Facebook Messenger. I'm gonna connect you with so and so. I would like for you two to meet and just connect." Like, I love doing that because even though I feel like it may not be for me, but if I
Right.
know it's gonna be great for you, I have no problem sharing people.
Wow. Oh, that's so big. Wow.
'Cause
You
I know
have
a lot
no
of people
problem
feel
sharing
like they
people.
want to hoard people or kinda gatekeep, and
Yeah.
I'm like, "But it's not benefiting you. God
Right.
connected you with that person because you're a bridge to connect you with this person." You know?
Absolutely.
And there's
Oh,
nothing
that's so
wrong with
good.
being the bridge. Like,
That's
be the
right.
bridge.
So somebody got to be the bridge.
Somebody gotta be the bridge, so
Yeah.
no problem at all. Well, that ended well.
It did. It went
It
wonderful.
went well.
Follow me on I Am My Morning Coffee.
Yes, ma'am. So, yes, please follow Adelia. We're gonna put your social media handle right here.
Oh,
When will
thank
you
you.
have the next I Am Morning Coffee podcast? Like, is there an episode we can
Yes.
anticipate?
So it was supposed to be in June. I was having like a friends and family, reunion type thing. And then my uncle died, and I honestly I shut down with that.
Mhm.
However, I am going to go ahead and not, because I know what God is telling me to do. So there will be some episodes this month. Y'all just stay tuned for the dates.
Cool, cool, cool. I want my side by side.
Yeah, yeah. I'll make sure you get it tonight
Okay,
while I'm
okay.
sitting here, waiting for all the festivities to be over.
For sure. All right. Well, everyone, sit tight, Adia, after we wrap up. Everybody, this is Camille Essick. I'm host of the Speaker Podcast. This is the podcast where innovators and critics connect. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, like, comment, and share at the Speaker Podcast. Follow me. I'm on Instagram, y'all, at Camille.Essick. And y'all, my website is out there. It's available, CamilleEssick.com. Hit the notification bell, subscribe, stay in the loop. And I would love to hear from you. I have an email, speakerpodcast@gmail.com. Just drop a bar to say, hey, how you doing? I will write back. Trust me, I really will. Y'all, I'm pretty sure everyone is watching the game right now. That's fine. My team is not playing. I am a Golden State Warriors girl. They're not playing, so I'm just like, "Bah humbug, boo, whatever." But yeah, y'all be blessed. Have a safe weekend, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Good night.
All
Bye.
right. Good night.